Wow. And that was in November of 2020 or in the 2020 span. Lots going on
Yeah.
in the world, a lot going on in the world. And so I think everyone was doing a lot of, what can I do more to amplify more voices, amplify our community, show the beauty of it, show the strength of it. And
Mhm.
so let's share a little bit more about Abibiman Project.
Yeah, so it was probably in the span of like I can remember vividly actually. It was about July 2020 around my birthday when I kind of had like a little breakdown when I
Mm-mm.
was like the world is an absolute shambles and I had the time to like go to all these protests and really be surrounded by the strength of my community, which is a rare occurrence when I'm usually in the food industry and busy and I don't have time to feel. And so it was really emotional. And I was like, what am I like? How can I contribute to this? What is my place? And so, I was thinking to myself and kind of just thinking out loud and bouncing ideas with my mom and my sister. And I was saying, like, I just want to do something with food that's really going to impact the community. And that was before I even thought about turning the Abibiman Project into a business. At the time, I was just like, I need to do something. I have the time,
Right.
I have the skill set. What can I do? And so in that time, I came across African Food Basket.
Okay.
And it's funny because they had been, predominant in the community of, Northwest Toronto, where I grew up, but I just didn't have the connection with them because fortunately enough, even though, I was raised by a single mother, like we had food security to a certain extent that we didn't need to rely on those services, although like being taught about urban farming and stuff like that is valid for anybody.
Absolutely.
Um, but even still, like that organization is older than me. And so I found that they were doing culturally appropriate food boxes for the community. And I'm like, that is beautiful because you are looking at the aspects of dignity associated with needing food. And not only that, you are helping those that are being overlooked in general in other settings and in a community that is predominantly those Black, Caribbean, and African descent. And so I reached out to them and I was like, hey, I just want to put on some fundraisers and raise you money. I have the time, I have the skill set, I have the platform, I have access to kitchen space. Just let me give you money. And
Awesome.
so I was working at a pastry. I say working. I was volunteering my time at a pastry shop for people who I thought were my friends, but that's a chaotic story on its
That's for
own.
another episode, huh?
Correct. But that space hosted me for the first few months of running these pop ups. And so I was like, okay, all I'm going to do, I'm going to keep it simple. I lied to myself. I never keep anything simple. But I did like peanut soup and omotuo, which is like a pounded rice ball.
Mm.
And I did a couple pastries based on traditional recipes and just kind of made them look fancy. And then I sold a couple spice blends, put it on Instagram, told people in the community, and we sold it out of the pastry shop, and it was a hit.
Nice.
And it went super well. I did like promo the month before, I think, and like was giving out little packets of spices so people could like smell and kind of get an idea of what the story was I was trying to tell. And that evolved the following month where we were offering more things. I did a Kenyan style curry and chapati, and like
Mhm.
people were coming out of their way. And this is still in the height of the uncertainty in the world that people were willing to come out and really support, and it was so wonderful to see. And the space that I was in started becoming not conducive for that positivity and strength that I was trying to spread out into the
Right.
community. So I, in the dark of the night, grabbed all of my things, brought them home. I'm like, I need to figure out a different way to approach this.
Mhm.
And then that's when I leaned to starting an e-commerce site and started selling like chocolate bars online and doing my spice blends and kind of sending them out and being like a more of a product based business instead of or sorry, that's when it became a business, right? And I was now product based instead of these pop-ups that I was doing.
Okay.
And in that time, I think we raised like 4,000, I think, leading to like Feb 2021.
Okay.
And then it was just like, wow, people actually want to support this. And like, this is something I'm doing on the side once a month, easy. And it's being given back to the community in the best way possible. And I continued to work full time while doing the Abibiman Project until I think September 2021, until I went full time. And so I really, or no, September 2022. Time is weird.
I
I think it was September
all the
2022.
years, huh?
Yeah, they're all mushed into one. And then now it's my full time job. But
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, I never saw it taking this path. I was like, this is just fun. We're just putting things out there and seeing how it goes. We're supporting community. But
Life.
yeah, people actually have an interest in this, and it's really exciting to see. And like, I'm happy that I found myself in this place, like, representing the community in the way that I do. So I'm very grateful that I have this opportunity.
I love it because, like you said, you're spotlighting, food cultures from around Africa, right? So you're in Ghana, you're in Kenya, you're in Nigeria, you're in Morocco. I mean, it's amazing. And to, like you said, I think I was reading, how many people can even say how many countries exist on the continent of Africa, right?
Truly.
And on our current print issue was really about just celebrating, and I use the word rumble because it's just there's an excitement coming from the continent in terms of reclaiming history, reclaiming ingredients, reclaiming techniques, and we're going to start to see even more come out of the continent and those that are keepers of those cultures, those ingredients, etc. And then we've got the extension, as we know, outside of the continent, Toronto, here in the US, and all of that. So I think that is just great, amazing. And, our good friend, Anani Loli, who had on the podcast, founded African Food Basket. And, just again, like you said, the culturally appropriate, he knew what he wanted to get to serve the people. And I think that the work that he's doing up there is in the organization is truly amazing. And so now you are full time in this role, in this business.
Hmm.
What are some of the projects, and what are you looking at, especially for 2024, and you're seeing the vision for it as it continues to evolve, right?
Yeah, so it's it's very unique that I started this business during a world crisis, because it's given me the I I would say foresight in some way, and also the flexibility to like pivot constantly. And
Hmm.
so I'm never too set on anything, because I'm like, I don't know what's coming for me next.
Hmm.
And so I definitely am, I'm talking to a real estate agent. I'm trying to find a brick and mortar space for myself.
Okay.
I get asked constantly, where's your store? Where can I find your stuff? And I'm like, I just exist in the wind, so I'm working on it. Um, but I definitely want to kind of switch what I was doing last year. So last year I was doing pop-ups every single week.
Wow.
Um, and it was absolutely exhausting.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
So I'm not doing that this year. There's no way. I cannot do it. I'm no longer a spring chicken. And so I'm planning to just stick to like two a month,
Okay.
do small intimate dinners. We've hosted a few now, and the ambiance is a lot more comforting
Hmm.
than like a dinner service that's so detached. So we do like a long table, 16 guests. They can see me cooking in the kitchen. I
Nice.
come, I talk to them, I lead conversation. And so it kind of adds that home element to
Hmm.
the food, where I really want you to feel comforted, and like, this is for you to understand that I'm cooking food from my soul, and therefore I want to share it to you on a plane that is more community focused than the experience you would have at like a white wall detached restaurant.
Hmm.
um so that's really been nice, because I get to see people's reactions and talk to them and hear what the foods remind them of, and really connect with people from all different kinds of backgrounds.
Wow.
And so that's been really nice to experience and get that like immediate feedback as well for growth for my business, but also just out of curiosity of their experiences. I also, with my product line, I'm looking to start wholesaling to more businesses. So at the moment, we sell in a couple specialty stores. We have our, our Kenyan chai on the menu at like the Drake Hotel. They
Nice.
use it for high tea, which is really nice.
Ooh,
Um, so we have like our feet in a few places. It's just getting over the hump of capacity where I'm one person and I have two part-time people that work with me, but I need to have enough capacity demand in order to upgrade that to full-time work. And so I'm really taking this year to make sure I have some stable legs moving forward, and just figuring out the longevity plan for the business and how I can um, continue to grow on the social enterprise legs of it, because I really want to mentor youth in the community, especially ones from the diaspora, and really allow them to see that there is, there's a road to success in the food industry.
right.
Connecting with your food identity is valid. I've been teaching workshops in school settings, in corporate settings, and community settings. And in all of those places, I'm really just sharing my journey and letting them know that it's not necessarily linear finding that identity, but that it's important and that we're all connected through food. And so that's been something else I want to really lean into. So the ideal scenario is my products are doing well enough that I have my staff supporting me in producing those, where I can spend time doing workshops and really doing outreach in community spaces. And then together we come and do those dinners and host guests and just have like a wonderful experience of community and food and good vibes.
Awesome. And I just love the evolution of what's going on in food. I've been watching it for many, many years now, and just love how, people of color are reclaiming who they are in this space and choosing not, it's fine that you learn the mother sauces and you learn all those techniques and things now, but then now, okay, how can I take that and then still infuse who I am, or even just go back to, my childhood favorite, my history and culture and things like that. And I love that. And I think that's very important to maybe to continue to instill in
Mm-hmm.
kids, is to be proud of who you are. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And I've found a lot too that there is sort of this wannabe fit in with the kids when you're young and all of that, and speak languages at home, but we're not going to speak them out in public, and they're teasing me about my accent and whatever. But then there's this full circle as an adult, and you look back at that and you're like, oh man, I wish I would have kept up speaking when mommy was speaking Spanish to me or whatever to me and all of that
Yeah.
stuff, right? So just, that's one of the things I'm truly passionate about, is just saying, what, culture is beautiful, and just really hold on to who you are. It's so, so important. So
Hmm.
love how you're doing that and teaching them young, and getting out there. And so, like you said, you did have some pop-ups this month celebrating. So coming off of that, and then also with, 54 countries, Africa, you have no lack of inspiration, right?
Exactly. I have
No
a
lack
lot
of,
of subject
and
matter to work through.
exactly, you're still just scratching the surface, right? On different things. Let me ask you this. It's sort of a non-culinary question, but it's still important. In this space, how are you taking care of you? Because the food life can be a hard life. The entrepreneur life is a hard life. So how are you taking care of yourself in all of this?
You know what? I will say that I try my best, but I'm not always very good at it. It's
Mhm.
hard to balance because I am my own boss. And sometimes I'm like, oh, the worst boss I've ever had. And then that's about it. So, it's hard to like sometimes separate work from life because it's so intertwined. I
Mhm.
work from home when I'm doing my admin work. So, like, my
Mhm.
desk is right beside my bed. So, I still can look at my pile of invoices that I have to go through. So,
Right.
I try to, sometimes when I'm in the kitchen, I'll listen to a podcast or an audiobook and kind of try and reclaim that me time while doing the work. I love going to the gym. It's just it's a detachment for my mind. And when I'm, focusing on not passing out from exhaustion, I can't think about what I have to do in the kitchen. It
Mhm.
allows me to really have that moment of peace and separation. I get acupuncture and go
Okay.
for like I get like traditional Chinese medicine treatments, so acupuncture, gua sha massages, um, and like I say this like I have the budget for it. I go to a traditional Chinese medicine school, so the
Mm,
students, it's very affordable. And so I do try my best because I know that I'm like, if I don't take care of myself, I can't continue doing this business.
absolutely.
Um, like
And
if I can take
self-care
an,
is so needed in the culinary
it
industry.
really is.
So needed between the environments that you're working with, just people, just everything, right? And then you add on different layers of being a woman, being a Black woman. It's just all
It's a
of
lot.
it's a lot.
Yeah. So like if there's a day when like I have time to take a nap, I'm gonna take a nap. If I can meditate for 5 minutes sitting on the subway, I will. Like I I definitely have the days when I feel like I'm drowning,
Mhm.
and it happens, but I try my best when I can be okay to be okay. And if not, like, I'll call my mom, I'll call a friend, I'll write it down, just try and constantly remind myself why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Right.
And trying to like trick myself into being like, we're gonna laugh back on this in 5 years. It's that mentality. Some days when I'm like, really?
Yeah,
Another thing? Come on.
yeah.
And so yeah, it's definitely a work in progress constantly,
Mhm.
but I'm grateful that I have the flexibility that I do. And so you know, I definitely feel like I take care of myself better now than I did when I was working for other people.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful. So what else is coming up in 2024 for you?
Yeah, well, I'm planning all sorts of things, a lot of collabs with different Black chefs in the city. Really just looking forward to branching out with the diaspora and really, I never believe and I will never believe that I know everything.
Mhm.
And so being able to collab with other chefs that have different experiences and different perspectives in food helps me learn, but also, we bring in two different customer bases, and so that's really unique and fun to do. So I have at least two coming up in April.
Okay.
Dates are to be confirmed, but then we'll definitely have a lot going into the summer as well. And I'm planning a pastry tasting menu, which I'm really, really excited about. It's going to be very fun.
Mhm.
And other than that, like just a lot of, I have two dinners, March 10th and March 30th.
Okay.
March 10th we're celebrating like Ghana Independence Day, so a fun menu for that. We're gonna do my mom's famous wache, which I'm very excited for. It's more for me. The one thing I love about my business, I tell people straight up, I'm like, it's on the menu because I love it. I
Okay.
decided
Hey.
the menu this morning. I'm doing it because I want it. um, so yeah, we're definitely going to be doing that. We're opening workshops up to the public. So teaching cooking workshops where basically the format will be small groups, no more than 8 students, and you tell me what African dish you really, really want to learn how to make,
Mhm.
as long as it can be made within 2 hours.
Right.
And then I teach you how to make it. Between the 8 people, we're all making different recipes, and then we have like a potluck style meal.
Nice.
Um, and so you all get introduced to something new, and then everybody gets like a recipe booklet with the different recipes. So that's something I'm very excited to do. Um, and yeah, hopefully I'm gonna throw in some breaks for myself in there and travel to the continent, maybe enjoy
Nice.
some culinary exploration. But that'll be in the off season, maybe in October if I can manage. So we'll
Okay.
see.
Got a big busy year, so
Yeah.
definitely well, tell everybody how they can connect with you.
Yeah, so we are the Abibiman Project.com. So our website has our products, our story, how you can connect to us for services or anything like that. We're also the Abibiman Project on Instagram and Facebook. When I remember to post, there's content about our events and products. And I am gonna start more just storytelling.
Mhm.
My new staff person, he's like, you're so eloquent. You should really just do videos where you talk. And I'm like, oh, flattered me won't get you a raise. But he's a very sweet boy. So I did record a couple videos, so I will be releasing those. Just kind of, you know, these ramblings that I get the opportunity to have at the dinners, kind of putting them out in like a vlog format so people can see what kind of goes on in this head of mine. So
Awesome, awesome. Well, Rachel, thank you so much for joining me today. This has just been great. Again, have been following your work for years, so it's just great to catch up and really just hear your story. So thank you.
I'm very grateful that you've had me. I think that this is wonderful what you do. And so to be able to connect with you and for you to have reached out to me, I'm very flattered. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.